I'll never forget the night she finally told me. The night I realized I had been living in a house full of lies, watching a marriage unravel in slow motion without even knowing it. She came home later than usual, acting casual, humming like nothing was wrong. I had a nagging suspicion, something I couldn't shake, but I didn't confront it. Not yet. I wanted to see how far this would go. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, sipping her tea, and suddenly her hand trembled. Not in fear, not in guilt, but with anticipation, like she had rehearsed this moment for months. "I need to tell you something," she began, her voice too calm for what was coming. "Something serious." I nodded. "Okay." She took a deep breath and then said it, like a dagger sliding across the table. "I've been seeing someone else." I didn't flinch. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just nodded. "All right." Her eyes widened. She blinked, waiting for anger, for panic, for a reaction. I gave her none. "It's not just that," she continued. "I've been planning to leave. There's a whole thing set up already. I've been careful. I've thought it through." I leaned back in my chair, finally letting out a slow breath. "Sure." That was it. Just 2 words. But they carried more weight than anything I could have shouted. She paused, confused, trying to read me, trying to see if this was a trick. It wasn't. I don't understand," she said. "You're not upset?" I shook my head. I've spent years pretending this was the life I wanted. I've spent years holding on to something that was never ours to begin with. You're leaving. Fine. I don't need to fight for someone who stopped being here a long time ago. Her lips parted. Shock registered on her face. She tried to backtrack, to soften the blow. "But we can fix this. I love you." I held up a hand. Love isn't enough. Not when it's paired with lies. Not when someone is planning an escape while sitting across from you. You've already left, emotionally. This confession doesn't change that. She sat in stunned silence. I could see the disbelief creeping in, the audacity of expecting me to beg, to plead, to make her stay. I didn't. For the next hour, she tried everything. Tears, explanations, promises. But I didn't waver. I didn't argue. I didn't convince her to stay. I simply listened and let her words confirm what I already knew. She had moved on long before she admitted it. That night, I didn't sleep. I packed lightly, took only what I truly needed, and left. Not angrily, not dramatically, just quietly, deliberately. I left so she could have her plan, her freedom, and I could have mine. The next weeks were surreal. I stayed in a small motel, working nights, running during the day. I didn't check my phone constantly. I didn't stalk her social media. I didn't beg for details. I rebuilt myself silently, letting anger and betrayal fuel my focus rather than destroy me. She called after a week. Her voice trembled. "Please. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we talk?" I listened. I didn't respond immediately. I let her hear the emptiness, the distance that wasn't there before. She tried to guilt me, to manipulate me, to pull me back into the story she had written for herself. But I had already rewritten mine. Finally, I said, "I know. And that's fine. I'm moving forward. You do the same." Her tears were audible. Her desperation was clear. But it was too late. The man she wanted me to be, the one who begged, who pleaded, who tried to fix what she had broken, no longer existed. Months passed. I found a new apartment, a new routine, new friends who didn't know about the betrayal and didn't need to. I focused on myself, my mind, my body, my heart. The freedom I gained by walking away, by not fighting to salvage something that was already gone, became intoxicating. Eventually, I heard she had left the city, The affair, the escape plan, all executed perfectly from her perspective. I didn't care. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't angry. I was free. And in freedom, I realized how much I had lost by staying too long before, by trying to hold on to something that wasn't mine to keep. The most shocking part? Her confession, her plan, the betrayal. It didn't break me. It woke me up. It forced me to see clearly what I deserved. I wasn't a victim. I was someone who finally refused to be trapped by someone else's selfishness. Years later, I don't think about her much. I think about that night as a turning point. The moment I stopped being someone else's pawn and started being my own person. The moment I said, calmly, firmly, sure, while the world I had known fell apart around me. Because sometimes the most powerful response to betrayal isn't anger, isn't revenge, isn't begging. Sometimes it's silence. It's letting them go. And it's walking away, knowing you are walking towards something better.